What's up, guys?
Hi, everybody.
Hello, hello. Welcome to the Thursday Rounds with Play stream.
Yeah, welcome, welcome.
And I am Ragnar. I am an artiste on Oni.
And I'm Alex, also an artist and animator on Oxygen Not Included.
The dream.
Oh, stop it. Yeah, you might have. We've done this stream a couple times in the past. It's been a little while, but yeah, today we're gonna do it's animation principles.
Yes.
Learn how to animate with Klei.
I'm gonna call it the Klei's room.
The Klei's room?
Classroom. I'm gonna stop. I'm done. I'll walk out.
I liked it when you did it with Erica. You guys were like, waves and arts.
What are we doing?
That was good. Okay, yeah, so today we are going to talk about keyframes. Keyframes, I've already forgotten it. And in-betweens.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen one of these before, briefly, we started a little sort of series on like the basics, the fundamentals of animation, and we can kind of show you how they apply to everything we do at Klei.
Yeah.
Don't Starve and Oni
and all the others.
And everything.
Oh, and,
everything.
Yeah.
There's animation.
Pretty much
in everything.
anything that's animated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll do that for you guys today. As always, questions, we'll answer them. And yeah, we'll go along. And yeah, we'll answer anything you guys need to. Let's dive right in.
Let's do this.
Ragnar.
Yes, sir.
What is a keyframe? I'm totally putting you on the spot now.
Keyframes are basically, they're like your starting poses. They're we talk about these things a lot, so I feel like this is actually.
Sorry? Yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
Do you mind putting it to 43?
43.
Cool.
Wow, exacting. So exact.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't know if I have that kind of dexterity in my index finger to turn the. It's at 44.
All right, we got this. Anyways, yes, keyframes, breakdowns, and in-betweens. Because we talked about it a lot in like the previous streams, and so we thought.
Kind of. Yeah, it's one of those things. Yeah, like that is animation.
Yeah.
That is all of animation.
Yeah. So we thought it was a good idea to actually like delve into it and like get it ironed out so like we're all on the same page. But yeah, so keyframes are like your starting poses. So basically, if you have, what was your example a while ago? Like a guy sitting and drinking tea.
Yeah.
Right. So you would have the sitting position and then the drinking tea, and then that would be
those are keyframes.
Yeah, those are your keyframes. And then breakdowns are basically just they're the poses that would define the action getting into from one keyframe to another.
Yeah, they're in between your keys, but they're not like an in between is very much like a straight like interpolation between two keyframes. A breakdown gives you more information. Like, we'll go into it a little bit more, but they're kind of like secondary keyframes. I like to think of them as that because
Sounds good.
Yeah.
But we got you covered. We got this.
Let's do this. Let's switch to
This
Cintiq, and then you'll see someone
Someone
recognizable.
familiar.
Yeah, well, like we'll probably do a combination of showing you guys examples from our literally the game files.
Yeah.
And then we can do some drawing examples as well, just rough examples. Again, if you've seen this version of the Rhymes with Play, that's what we've done in the past.
Yeah.
Like we'll draw a little bit and.
Also, yes, we're dual streaming today, so we're live on Twitch and Steam. So hello, Steam viewers.
Yeah.
Hope we're doing this right.
Yeah.
But,
I'm told I haven't seen it on Steam, but I'm told it just plays on the page.
Yeah,
the
on the
game
storefront page.
So that's cool.
Yeah.
Welcome all.
Yeah, and as usual, Alex is going to be on the Cintiq here, and so I'll be fielding questions. So any questions that is on the chat, I'll keep an eye on them. Actually, first one asking what kind of software we use. Helios 5. We actually use Flash CC for all our stuff. Animation.
Animate
Yeah.
now. it's
Oh,
called.
Animate CC.
We still love it.
Yeah.
We know it lovingly as Flash
Yes.
because we've been doing it for a little while.
Yeah.
How long have you been animating professionally?
13 years now, which is
Yeah,
crazy.
it's a lot.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't like to think about it.
Yeah, it was like
about you?
2003. Yeah, like 14 or 15 years. Yeah.
Yeah. So we were a lot younger when we started this.
Pressure's on.
I was the same height as I was when I started.
Okay, Mindspatch says Chuck Jones and James Baxter are masters at this.
Yes.
Those are, that's
They're-
like Michael Jordan and Wayne Gretzky.
Yeah.
Except,
Except in
the same
animation.
sport. Oh,
Yeah,
the-
we used to
the
watch
button.
those guys like the interviews and stuff, and even the old I don't know if any of you guys know like the 9 Old Men from Disney when they used to talk about them.
Yeah,
Milt
yeah,
Kahl
yeah.
in them.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, that's kind of what they teach you in animation school, and I mean now, you can look it up on the
Yeah.
on the Wikipedia. But yeah, they were kind of like the 9 original masters at Disney
Yeah.
in like the
basically
40s,
came up
30s.
with like a bunch of the stuff that they still probably use today for anything
yeah,
actually, like 3D, 2D, whatever.
Yeah.
It's all like very relevant information. Yeah. Also,
yeah.
you have a book.
I have a book, yeah.
Yeah.
So the 9 Old Men, they compiled that book, The Illusion of Life, which is like when you go to animation school, that's basically, they're like, read this, and it's like this thick, and it's really great. And then Richard Williams made that like animation book, just a little bit thinner and more condensed.
Yeah.
And you're like, wow, this is
There's
awesome.
a lot of info in
Yeah.
all those books.
And then a lot of us here, our go-to is this book.
Oh,
I don't know if
can
I'm
we
showing
switch
it.
to
Yeah.
we're gonna switch to the cam or
Just look
the cam video.
Just
real quick.
look at it in this tiny little corner. Here we go. Eric Goldberg, the genius Eric Goldberg. He animated the genie from Aladdin. Mm-hmm. Okay, see my face?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
this
a very appealing picture, right? Not me.
This book is gold. I love it. I was thumbing through it just before this stream, and I was like, oh yeah, that. Oh yeah, this.
Yeah.
And so yeah, if you're serious about getting into animation, this is the one. It's just a lot of the stuff we'll be talking about today is kind of summed up nicely from that book. So Eric Goldberg, yeah, he did like one of the last things he did was if you've seen Moana, he did the Maui drawing, like the animated tattoos.
Oof,
That was pretty cool.
beast. Yeah.
But yeah, the genie is like, that's one of the greats. Okay, let's look at this. Let's just start going into it. Sometimes we talk and then we're like, let's just show some animation.
Yeah. Skyfly, hello. How's it going?
So yeah, here's an example before we start drawing. This is the cheer. I'm sure you've seen this animation before if you've played Oxygen Not Included. It happens here and there.
Yeah.
I like it. It's like a concise one-off animation. We should probably play it like more
time.
randomly, like when
It's
they're
one of my
happy.
favorite ones, actually. This one.
So yeah, this animation is, let's see here, 83 frames long. We always start in what we call the idle pose. So all our animations start and end in this pose so that we can, like for gameplay, we can kind of, what's the word? Like you can literally play them end to end and they all come in and out of each other nicely. So yeah, this is always a start pose. So this literally is a keyframe. We couldn't do anything without this frame.
Starting point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I animated this, I can't remember when, but
13 years ago.
13 years ago,
Just kidding.
before Klei existed. I don't have the rough drawings. Like what I do typically is, I draw this kind of drawing, like before any of this actually exists. I would have done a drawing something like this, like literally this rough.
Look at that pencil just gliding.
And then yeah, like if you guys, again, if you've seen our art streams before, we work with a symbol library, so it's kind of like cutouts. You know, we have a pretty efficient pipeline for animation where we can use these cutout pieces, and then if something doesn't work or it looks wonky, we redraw it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a brief overview.
A lot of redrawing.
Of what we do. And then yeah, we just start, like, you know, you can move these, you can move the bottom arm, you know, you find like a nice strong pose, whatever you want to end in.
Yeah, when we're doing like the poses, you want to make sure that the silhouette, and that is basically like, even if you black the character out as like a solid shape, you know, like the pose would still read minus all the details, like, you know, like eyes or whatever. Even as just a solid shape, you can read what's going on. Then that's a strong pose. That's a good pose. It's probably, you know, something that you should always pay attention to.
Yeah. Okay, so sorry, I'm just reorganizing here.
Gingerbeck, when Alex's 5-second rough drawing is better than something I could do in 5. That's how we feel in the team. Sometimes when we're stumped, we go, "Hey, Alex."
No, stop it.
How do we do this?
Get out of here. That's like actually one of the most valuable things I learned in animation school was, you know, like, yeah, just like you can't be married to those drawings.
Yeah.
Like, look at this. This is literally, actually, this is kind of embarrassing. This is an in-between. Like, speaking of roughness, this goes from this drawing. Here, let me try to. What I was saying though was like, yeah, like you have to be okay with like rough drawings, and the more you do that, the more you don't worry like about detail. You're literally spending less time doing that and spending more time doing the rough drawing, and you know, before you know it, your rough drawings will look better and better year after year, and then you have awesome 15-year-old rough drawings.
Yeah. It's all just like practice, guys. So you know, if you're finding you're having a difficult time like getting things down really fast right now, just keep doing it. And and don't get stuck in like one pose. Like just keep like busting it out. Like you know, like 5 seconds here, 5 seconds here. Just like keep drawing and drawing and drawing.
So here's something that happens quite often in Flash animation, and you know, there's examples of it all over the place. And this is literally the animation that's in the game, but after I show you this, I'm gonna fix it.
Nice.
So if you look at the timeline here, there's this row is a keyframe, and then it kind of goes into this. So it's basically this pose into this pose, which is the start of the jump. And if you look at anything with these blue, like these blue sections, that's like us telling Flash to automate the in-between. So it's literally the computer taking over and doing the in-between. And if you forward 2 frames, those arms look super janky. I would never draw it like that. But you know, often, I mean, we work fast, and like, you know, when your eye, like if your eye doesn't see it, like if I just play this animation, you might not see it necessarily, like especially in game when they're when the characters are tiny.
Oh,
so I would.
Quick question from Reller EU here. What is the name of the book again?
Oh, it's called Character Animation Crash Course by Eric Goldberg. We'll get Jan to
type it out.
Type it out, yeah. Then you'll get it totally right. Character Animation Crash Course.
There you go. Oh,
Eric
there you go.
Goldberg.
Mind Patch. Thanks, man, for having her back here.
So I'm just quickly going to pull these arms out. There you go. That's embarrassment averted. But honestly, within these in-betweens, you'll see a lot of weird mistakes. And honestly, that's another thing. It's kind of like the rough drawings. Like sometimes it's okay to have a little bit of that if it's like a lot of animation is just like how it feels versus like examining every single frame.
Yeah.
People vary with opinions with that sort of thing. Like some people are so like
sticklers about it.
Sticklers, and every frame has to be perfect. Some people are like, if it feels great,
go for it.
Like you can,
I'm of that chain of thought. Actually, that's one thing I try to look out for when I'm like doing my in-betweens. Is like, I call them happy mistakes.
Yeah.
Where it's just like, hey, look at that, it kind of works, and then I just roll with it because there's a lot of other things to worry about, like good poses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, let's call this key number 3. Okay, so far we've got 1, 2, 3, and then he lands. Okay, let's call this a key as well. This is kind of like the same pose as when she was taken off. And then it goes back to this one, which let's call it 1 again.
Nice.
So yeah, those are your key poses. Without those poses, you wouldn't have this animation, obviously. And then, what's a breakdown?
Breakdowns are basically they're your drawings that would define the rest of the motion getting into the next keyframe. So like, for example, what was that? The drinking tea and sitting pose. You basically would have a breakdown of like one frame
Switch
where
to your cam so you can show it
All
in
right,
profile.
Right. So which way should I be facing? This. No, this way. So if you were drinking tea, you were sitting like this, and you have this where you're drinking. Your breakdown would be somewhere in the middle here, or depending on where you want your arcs to move, or like stuff like that. So that drawing is very like. It's not very set, like you can change it, and changing that drawing will basically dictate the motion that follows from like the keys.
Here, maybe this is a good time to.
Oh, here we go. Busting out the chops.
Oh, yeah, let's draw. Let's have him, here's a guy and what's he doing right now? He's holding
a teacup.
a teacup.
Can you do a little pinky
like
sticking out?
A real good, this is like not just a teacup, this is like.
Oh, it's
almost
pint of.
It's like a stein.
Yeah, there you
go. Yeah, I can have him hold his pinky out. Why not? He's just like that.
There we go.
There, someone broke his pinky. So yeah, you'd have this.
We're never serious in the office, so I don't know if you guys picked up on that, but.
And he's like, ah. And then you'd have like, ooh. I'm drinking tea.
Tmoog TV. Is it possible to follow them on Twitter? I don't have a Twitter account, but my friend Alex the Dream 7 here has a Twitter account.
I do. I'm not on it that often, but yeah, I have one. Sorry, I can't.
There you go.
I can't talk. I chose this hilariously bad, awkward way of drinking. Have you ever drank a cup like this? Like you just go.
Yeah. I've used some weird mugs before.
Yeah, there you go. So that's this. So this is a keyframe. This is a keyframe.
Yeah.
We need Jambell to do
sounds.
sound.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So a breakdown would be. So yeah, like actually, this is a good example. Like an in-between would be. Literally, let's start with the in-between, this is a trick to preserve volumes. Whoa, that's a weird Flash thing.
Yeah. Flash does some weird things sometimes.
And you literally put it kind of almost exactly in the middle. Well, if it's a straight in-between, you'd put it as exactly in the middle as you possibly could. It looks like, see, I drew the mug a little bit smaller there, so maybe it's like receding.
It's moving in perspective.
It's moving in perspective.
That's
happy accidents.
We got this. We got this.
And then now, so let's say the handle's here, so his fist would be like right here. Ooh, I'm drinking. The elbow would be like here. That's kind of a middle spot.
Yeah, it's like a straight in between where you're not really taking any liberties with it. You're just literally filling in the space between.
Yeah, that is like the worst hand I think I've ever drawn. But and then then the nose would be like, so this would be the corner of the mouth corner of the mouth.
What's up, Andy? I didn't know you were on. Thanks, man, for tuning in.
And then, boom, he's
Look at that.
drinking.
Oh man, there actually is super perspective going on. That's crazy. Yeah.
Okay, so that I would consider an in-between.
An IB.
An IB. A breakdown would be more like, so it's almost like I think of it in terms of the personality. So if like how they move, like a little bit of it. Eric Goldberg in that book talks about like you're thinking at that point of the performance of the character, like is he wacky, like because that will affect how he lifts the cup to his face. One thing he did write that I wrote down that really like describes keys and breakdowns really well is if the keys are what the character is doing, breakdowns are how the characters are doing it.
Yeah. That's so concise.
Yeah. So which means like he could lift the cup like this, or he could. Let me put the onion skin back on. He could go. So let's just draw his face. He could be like. Oh. Yeah. So already, like.
Yeah, breakdowns are crazy. It's basically like if you gave two animators two key poses, and you asked them to animate in between those two poses, their breakdowns will be completely different from one. It's like.
Yeah.
It's basically also like it shows the personality of the animator working on the scene. If you had an animator who was just like really serious, he'd probably just like straight tween it.
Yeah.
But like someone who has like a sense of humor or like they would do something totally different, and it would just change the overall feel of the scene, of the action. It's.
Yeah, it kind of defines like the personality, and a lot of it is like it's individual animators, like actual personalities that come out and in the movements, which is why it's more associated with performance than like a technical way of doing something. Yeah. I'm gonna do something weird here. I'm gonna make his arm do this.
Let's see.
So this would be. Sometimes they call this breaking the joint.
Yes.
It's another good one. Yeah. So that's definitely not an in-between, but that's kind of like if you were to see that animation play out, it's more like
he's like whipping it.
Yeah. It's more like if like Ace
Ventura was drinking a cup, he would totally do that. And
I don't know if that reference works anymore, but.
Yeah. I hope the fans watching know of Ace Ventura. Otherwise, we would feel really old.
Yeah, it's like if he drank a cup of coffee, it wouldn't be like this. It would be like this.
He would just like swing it out.
Yeah. So here's the first one again. Wait, is this the So here's the first one.
This is how your normal person at Starbucks would drink their coffee.
Well, maybe not with like holding it like this. It's still kind of weird, but.
Yeah.
Straight in between. Breakdown.
Yeah.
So after that, you would then like probably put an in between right here.
This is exactly how Erica drinks her coffee. She says.
She's got burns like, all over her face.
Yeah, she was asking us for Tylenol earlier. I think. I'm just kidding.
Yeah. So like if you
Love you, Erica.
If you can see the timeline here, you would probably this is 4 frames to the key. So you'd probably put another in between the breakdown and the key. Yeah. And that would be like, let's see here. I'm just gonna do this. You could almost do a smear, like if you wanted. If the action is that fast, you could just go, zhwit. Just literally draw this.
Oh yeah, smear.
And then, I don't know, you could just draw like random fists here. That's the beauty of smears.
Smears are great because you can basically achieve like so much like smoothing or like snappiness in like in an in-between in like one drawing, and it won't feel like it's jagged, you know. It's just kind of like
smears you typically put on one frame, so I'm just gonna move it
because it's such a weird drawing. You don't want it to stick around for too long.
Whoa, that is fast. Definitely don't drink scalding hot drinks.
Yeah,
this
fast.
fast.
Guy really needs his coffee. Like,
unless you have like the dexterity to just like slow it down,
or
and
if
not
you have
spill
like
a drop, like
platinum teeth and you're not worried about like bashing with the cup.
Like Bruce Lee probably could have drank tea like this.
He's one with water.
So again, regular in between, breakdown to further define the action. So, you know, those really convey different things, even though they occupy the same like keyframe space.
Yeah.
You're changing the timing effectively in the drawing, as opposed to moving the keyframes around on the timeline. I hope that makes sense.
Yeah. So if you are trying to do some animation at home, you know, draw two keys out and try to see how you can make it feel different or you know, exciting or interesting with the breakdowns that you put in between those keys. It's like sometimes you find your style in that space, you know.
Yeah. So so to get from this pose to this pose, here, let me expand this a little bit. These are kind of straight up in-betweens. This is a long, like,
it's like an ease in.
Yeah, it's like an ease in. So like, it's literally like almost the same pose. You're just this is kind of an extreme, I guess. Like you could call this the keyframe and this is the extreme, which is essentially the same pose, but you push it further, as opposed to just having it stop and be kind of lifeless or static. This is probably a breakdown.
Yeah.
He literally pops from here to here. It.
Yes.
I don't know.
They.
The dupe. Yeah. And then, so this is, if you're just looking at the body, head, and legs, they're like doing almost nothing. They're kind of slowly in-betweening from here to here, and then I kind of have, I guess, an overlapping action of the arms kind of going woo. Yeah. Comes back down. I would consider this a breakdown from here to here, because you could literally, like if you look at this pose, you know, the drawing could have been, let's see if I can draw it. The drawing could have been, you know, the head is here, and the arms are up here, and the legs are here. You know, like that could have worked too. Like, but it might not have been as interesting. Who knows?
What do you usually think about when you're doing like your keys and breakdowns? Like,
what am I thinking about?
Yeah, like what's your internal process?
Well,
because everybody has like a different way around it, so it's like really interesting.
Yeah, that's hard to. I don't know if I can explain it in words. When I'm thinking about keys, I'm more thinking about the poses themselves, and then I'm not really thinking of animation per se. I'm thinking of like the strength of the drawing, and like that's a whole other discussion on like posing and that kind of thing, appeal and arcs and line of action, not arcs, but line of action. I'm thinking of that when I'm posing. But yeah, once I'm in the animation, like for Oxygen Not Included, I do a method known as pose to pose. I'm sure some of you know what that is, where we map I would have basically gone and I'd made this pose first, then this pose, then this pose, then this pose, and then I can kind of like switch part of my brain into like, okay, how does the dupe get from this pose to this pose? And it's literally like, you know, that's I'm doing what I did here. I'm like, do I want it to straight in between? Do I want it to do something wacky? in Oni, the right answer is almost do it wacky.
Yeah, yeah.
And I love that about Oxygen Not Included.
We're basically all sitting at our desks going like, how would a real person do this?
Yeah.
And then how would someone not ever do this but still make it make sense?
Yeah. For something like this action where she's like, raising her hands up, it would have started out pretty much, if I blow away these keyframes here, I would have animated it like this. Like that's what it would have looked like. And then I do a second pass, like I go back, I isolate these symbols, and you'll see in this part of the timeline where I deleted those keys. They'll come back, and like so these are keyframes within that define that action of the waving, so on and so forth.
It gives them that like really nice personality, you know, like.
Yeah, it makes
really
it interesting
silly.
to look at.
Kevin Walter, man, I'd love to be animated for a game like this, but I suck at drawing. Don't worry, dude. We all sucked at drawing at some point.
Yeah.
Actually, that'd be really fun in like a future stream. Like, I'll pull up some of my like old drawings, and it's like,
oof.
yeah. It's rough. I did not like myself back
now.
then.
Yeah, we should. You know what? I'll do that. The next time we do the stream, who knows when that is, I'll find a hideous drawing that I did, like literally when I was already trying to get into animation.
Yeah, same.
I'll show you bad drawings from
2 days
animation
ago.
school 2 days ago.
Bad drawings
I got
2
some
days
now.
ago. Yeah, it was weird. But yeah, like, you know, because I think people miss that part where like they see the stream and I think, you know, you don't see the long years of pretty much everybody in the studio at some point just like drawing and animating till like early hours in the morning. So yeah, if you just keep at it, man, like
it's like anything.
Yeah, you'll get there. It's just practice.
I'm a terrible singer. I wish I was awesome at singing, but man,
I
I'm
didn't
the
dare.
worst.
I stopped at trying to play the guitar there. Yeah.
But yeah, I don't practice singing, so.
But it's all practice.
Here's another one. So I went, just before this stream, I chose just a couple of these animations. I figured we did the cheer, so let's do the cry. I love this
awesome.
animation almost just as much. I'll just play it. I think it's in our trailer too.
Yeah. Really,
it's
hits
so
you
sad,
in the feels.
but it's so cute. And
so many feelings.
I don't know how I feel about it. It's just like.
Did you animate this?
Yeah. Yeah. I don't even think like it wasn't
dug
even.
deep,
it wasn't necessary. It wasn't even something that was on a list or anything. I don't think. I'm just like I'm gonna make a dupe cry.
Sometimes when you see dupes having emotions, it's our emotions.
Yeah. It's all about performance. This is me crying.
Yeah.
This is me crying.
Yeah.
So yeah, here I chose this one because it's funny. It's sad, but I think it's sad in a very funny way.
Yeah.
And it's a much longer, like drawn out animation. It's the action isn't as like like antic down, jump up, and like this one's more like it's just slowly getting to the ground, kind of hovering there, and then standing back up. So yeah, my thought process at this point is like a lot of the time it's contrasting animations, like so that they do have that contrast, and I try to do that with everything, where it's like if I've done like a couple of really quick animations that are related, like I'll try to do one that's super drawn out, and yeah, it's all about that contrast. So again, you can see I started with the idle pose. It's the same one as the cheer.
Yeah.
I already started like quivering the mouth here. So that's like
where it hits you.
Yeah, like that. I would say like that's an anticipatory action.
Yeah.
It kind of looks. It's funny. Like this head turn is just. I literally like snapped the symbol over. Like we don't have like elaborate head turns, but it's almost like.
Gives it that.
It's like you're looking around, like it's like, oh, someone's gonna see me.
I can't control this. This is gonna happen.
Yeah. So it's like I'm maniacally laughing to mask my sadness when I was animating this.
We got a question from Kevin Walter again. Anyone have a suggestion for a decent starting tablet? Do you use a tablet, huh?
I have a Cintiq at home, which is what we have here. I started on on a tablet, like just a tablet that you put it on your desk, you draw and you look at the screen.
Yeah,
Lots of people still use those.
Yeah, those the Graphite or Intuos tablets.
I think they're called Intuos.
Yeah, from Wacom as well.
Yeah.
They're pretty good.
They're really good, and they're not like Cintiq is like buying a high-end monitor.
Yeah, it's quite expensive.
Tablets you can get for a couple $100, or you could probably find a lot of used ones too. Like if you're not sure about spending a whole bunch of money.
If you're looking for just a small tablet that you can draw on, I know Samsung used to make these. I have one myself. It's what I use at home. It's a Samsung Galaxy Note, which has like a Wacom digitizer in it or something like that. It comes with a very small pen. It's not the most ideal, but like, you know, if I'm just trying to sketch something real quick at home, it works really well.
Yeah.
My wife actually just got an iPad Pro.
Okay.
With the
pencil.
With the pencil, and it's super
pretty cool.
good.
Yeah. It's expensive, but it's good.
Yeah.
I wish the pen was a bit fatter, but I'm also just used to these super fat Wacom Cintiq pens.
I'm using bamboo. Yeah, a lot of people use bamboos actually. I've never used them, but I guess they're okay. I hear a lot of people use them. So.
Yeah, Gnome just said there's a couple of Klei artists who like the no screen tablet.
That's true. Yeah.
There's artists that I follow on social media that are insane, like concept art, like super detailed, like for like whatever Uncharted or Batman movie.
And they're
like,
screens.
and then they'll cut to them in their office and they're literally like doing this, and I'm like, what?
Yeah, I was like that actually too, because I was so used to I was so used to using the tablet that it took me a while to get used to a Cintiq, because I was like, my hand is right in front of where I want to see what my drawings do.
I just wanted to point out that this animation, so the cheer has, if you look at the timeline, we have these little red notches. I don't know if you guys can see that on the screen. I'm kind of pointing to them. Those indicate what animation states the programmers can call on.
Yeah.
So in this case, we call it the working loop, and that's actually a self-contained looping animation. The working pre goes from the idle pose into the loop. Yep. This loop can play as long as it needs to. And then when we're done, we can tell it to play the working post. And the post is, so I added an action where instead of just standing and like walking away, she just wipes her eyes. And
so sad.
She sucks it up and she's like, all right, I'm gonna go back to work.
Hoopy JV, thanks for hosting. Also, for the people just joining us right now, we are Klei Entertainment. I am Ragnar, and
I'm Alex.
Yeah, and we are the makers of games like Mark of Ninja, Don't Starve Together, Oni, Hot Lava, and soon enough, Grifflands.
Yeah.
So check all those games out. You know, like
all right.
Really.
I have one more exciting animation to show you.
Yeah. Everyone's seen this, I think. I hope everyone's seen this.
Everyone that's played the game, I think, has seen this one. This one's super fun because I wasn't just like if you look at these, obviously I'm animating on the spot. There's this little like pivot point. So that's literally the center of the animation. So programmers literally take this and move it through the game in fun and creative ways. This one, whoops. Preview. This one is, so it's like I'm animating to screen space because this is the title screen, if you recognize this machine. And this is the animation where she climbs up onto the machine.
I love that.
Looks at it, takes some notes. This is a really long animation. We're already at 13 seconds. This one took me quite a while to do. What was that? That was like 17 seconds.
That's a long
Like this is
timeline.
my timeline. Woo!
Monster
timeline. And then scene.
Exit, stage left.
17.4 seconds. And that's at 30 frames a second, not 24. So.
Oof.
I did like that sounds like a brag. I'll do 24.
It did throw me off for
prefer
a bit when we
24,
switched
but-
because I always do things 24, and then when we did 30, I'm like, am I doing it right? My maths are off.
Yeah, so I'll zoom in and kind of go through it quickly here. This is a run, obviously. A little run. That was actually a cycle, so I animated this in place, and then when I was done animating in place, I copy and pasted about this much of it. So you can see in the timeline, that's about 3 strides, or I guess 6 strides of the run. Jumps into here, antic into the ladder. Oh, like super elaborate antic. See, I thought, see, even just now scrolling through it, I thought she was just gonna grab the ladder, but I did this elaborate.
That's
weird.
a nice breakdown of things there.
So yeah, and then the ladder climb. I wanted it to look. My goal with this ladder climb, actually, I should say, is if you look at the ladder climb in game, it's like straightforward, and it needs to be because like you need to see where they're going, and the timing has to be kind of even. I wanted this to differentiate just so that when people see it in the main menu, like you never see this particular animation when they're climbing around. But again, it's like it gives it a little bit of personality, and it was an opportunity for us to put that in where we couldn't necessarily do that in game. And I think that sticks in people's heads, and when you're playing the game, sometimes you think like that's happening, but it's not. Like there's a lot of that kind of psychological stuff.
But it's
and the same goes for like the Oni shorts, like the trailers we do. That's an opportunity to do that kind of thing, and expand on the game. Like we don't go into those shorts thinking, oh, what do they do in the game? Let's do exactly that. We try to keep it as creative as possible.
Which is cool. I think that's part of the reason, people kind of gravitate towards certain characters, because like the personality that you see in the shorts, or like just some of the stuff that they do, kind of you're like, oh yeah, that character is awesome.
Oh look, another arm flub. Look at this one. Bleh. Bet you
but animation magic, it just feels like things are doing what they're supposed to do.
Here's another secret that I don't know if anyone picked up on, but she goes to pick up her clipboard and she's writing with no pencil. What? You know why? Because dupes don't have pencils. Oh wait, they do now. On their hats they have a pencil.
The one architect has a pencil, but I don't think he uses it either, because he just like taped it on the side of his head.
So this dupe is literally pretending to work.
Yeah, she's faking it till she makes it.
Again, that's what I intended. No, I didn't intend that. I just didn't. I figured it was so far away that people wouldn't care that they're not actually holding a pencil. But there you go. Easter, it's not really an Easter egg, but I think it's funny. Every time I see it, part of my brain goes, she doesn't have a pencil. So yeah. And then the idea with this action was just to go down the ladder in a different way than she came up it. And I thought it'd be funny if she did one of those, like a ladder slide, which again, you don't see in the game. They don't ladder slide. And her head's so big that, like, again, this is something I think you feel more than see, but she's actually knocking her head on like the
ladder steps.
So yeah, I mean, you don't really see that in the game or in the animation, but you kind of you feel it. I think Jambel might have even done like sound to it. So yeah, that's my animation breakdown. I haven't been looking at questions, so I apologize if we missed anything. You've been looking at questions.
Yeah.
Did you want to add anything? Did you want to show your example?
Yeah, I guess we can just go over it just to show you guys that we actually do, a bunch of the stuff that we're, talking about in game, and we've been doing them for stuff that.
Do you want to actually switch? Let's just switch.
I think this will work. Yeah. So here I have the basically the hatch doing stuff. So this is his walking idle animation. Or no,
this is
sorry,
the baby hatch.
The baby hatch, the walking animation.
Yeah, Ragnar did on this last update all the baby. Well, did you do all? You've done a lot of baby creature animations.
Yeah, I did the baby hatch, and I helped Erica clean up some stuff for this Lickster. But yeah, just some some good animations going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if we're going to play through this, and so here you see like basically the leftmost part is just basically the key animations. So there's really only about, I don't know if you can see the timeline down here. Oh, I don't know if you can see the timeline down here. There we go. So basically these are my keys here. So just this row and this, and basically the key here at the end is the same start pose as this because it has to loop into the same animation. So
To loop into itself.
So when I play it, it just goes like this. And the one in the middle is basically where you see how I've, broken things down. And there's a couple of steps that, like if you look online or read a book or something, they'll lay it out as, what is it? Keyframes, and then your breakdowns, and then your in-betweens. And then some people like to put like extra things at the end, like they give it life at the end. I feel that I feel that when you start your animation, you should try to give it life at every stage because when
that's a bad strategy to try to give it life once you're done.
Yeah, because when you give it life at the end, it will feel very stiff, and it's like if you start with bad foundations, you're not gonna have a good end product. So
you can't fix it in post.
Yeah, you can't just splash color into it. Yeah.
Although some people do that.
Some people do it, and if they're successful, that's some crazy skill. But
that's some
I
crazy post-production skills.
Yeah. So in your breakdown phase, you should try to put like the weight and the volume in mind as well when they're moving, like how they're moving in space. Like so for this one, when he's jumping, I don't know if you guys remember the episode that we did for the bouncing ball and the box. Like you're basically thinking of how gravity would affect when they jump and get to the top there, and then when they're moving down. So when you're doing your breakdowns, like it's nice to think about the secondary motion that will go into it.
Yeah. Another Eric Goldberg gold nugget.
Yeah, get that book, guys. It's like so good.
Yeah, he describes a breakdown as like, here, I'll switch quickly. Do a quick example. This and this, the breakdown is like, or this is an in-between, but he says like if you build the overlap into the breakdown, then you get like more interesting. What are we doing?
Yeah, it's like, guys, it's like waves and arcs all over again.
There's probably a gif of Eric Goldberg doing this. No.
With sounds and all.
Not actually.
Yeah. So if you have done your breakdowns correctly, and you can see here in the timeline, the blue section, where I've basically just told Flash to basically fill in all the other blank spots that I didn't do, then it moves, properly. And then when you add your eases and stuff, then you have just a smooth animation. Like the more info you can give Flash, the better your tweens are gonna be,
Look at that cute little baby hatch.
Yeah, and this is like really short. It's like 17 frames, so
you can get a lot out of loops.
So having like really nice breakdowns and keys will allow you to have just really nice smooth animation and efficient, like you'll be hitting a lot of things the right way.
You worked on Moana, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, he did we were saying earlier at the beginning, he did the tattoos on Maui.
Yeah, I didn't even know that, but that part was crazy.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Excuse me. And then for also the last batch of updates, this guy.
I like this guy.
Here we go. So
he did good work.
Yeah. he's so big.
I want one.
Yeah. So same thing basically, right? Like if we go through the timeline here, these on the left, again, these are the keys. Boom.
And this is an animation of him jumping off the ledge.
Yeah, off the ledge and landing 2 tiles down.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you can see in the middle where the breakdown starts to make a little bit of a difference. There's like a bit more weight to it.
Yeah. yeah, it's showing the, well, yeah, it's like just further defining the timing that you wanted. Like, it's at that point where you're deciding, is this thing light? Is this thing heavy? Like, is it made of like something hard and rigid or something soft? And then, yeah, you use breakdowns to, you know, determine those types of things too.
Yeah.
Which, again, it's not in the drawing so much as it is in like the timing.
Yeah, the
and
feel
the
of it.
feel of it.
Yeah, and then again, like when we get to the last part where you're filling everything in, you know, then you can just give it like the extra love and attention that it might need just to, you know, get that feeling across. I mean, there's like a weird part here where if we slow-mo, it kind of looks like it doesn't work, but when you play it in real time, it just kind of gives it that, like that snap. So yeah, you know, like it's not all about just having a nice frame, a nice drawing. It's also like, how does it feel like when it's falling? How does it, you know, how, like, does it convey like, oh, that he's heavy, or, you know, like that kind of stuff. So,
Yeah. In conclusion, it's magic.
It's magic. Animation is magic. Get that book.
Yeah.
So,
Does anyone have any questions?
Yeah.
I thought we had like so much stuff to
Yeah.
go over, and usually we're like way over time.
Yeah, if anyone has any like really in there like animation questions that, like, if you don't understand like something, like, you know, just we're keeping an eye on the chat here.
How do you approach animating something like the Morb?
Oof,
that
yeah,
one
I
was
wasn't here
fun.
for that one.
Yeah, I animated the Morb. That was one where I wish we had that file.
That was good actually. I really like, because the morb jumps in really
Yeah.
nicely. It has like, it's almost like if an omelet could jump, it would feel like
Yeah,
yeah.
and he's kind of looks like an egg. Like he's just got one big eye and like he looks like a fried egg that's running around.
Yeah.
You could actually recolor that character and turn him into a
Yeah,
weird
just
fried
yellow
egg.
and white.
Somebody do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one. I think my thought process was more like how like because we do a lot of symbol-based animation that works for, like, you know, joints, pivoting. Anytime you try to do like a slime ball or like the same thing I did with the Slickster originally. I just wanted to try to see if we could do. Okay, I thought we weren't doing that. Jan. I lost my train of thought now. Yeah, I wanted to see if I could do something that was more fluid, that looked less like, you know, just pieces moving around. So that Morb had a lot of like drawings, like extra drawings, like the texture is a bit bigger, I think, on that creature. Same with the Slickster, like I redrew every frame of it, like you guys showed it on the last time you and Erica did it, like those are all redrawn, as opposed to using one instance of a symbol and yeah, if that makes sense. That was my thought process with the Morb.
Yeah, which we also have. I have a couple more like GIFs here. I'll just throw it up since we're talking. But yeah, we do this stuff all the time.
That's the rock refiner.
The rock refiner. And we're trying to see if something will work or not. We just kind of go.
So Ragnar would have just done like those are pretty much just poses. I guess the machine has got some in-betweening in there.
Yeah, the machine was done, and I was just like, I wonder how like this would play out if they did it like this, as opposed to just pressing it. You know, I think. Yeah.
And then it's when you do these poses that like it's at this point that you determine, oh, I want the punch to be quicker, or I want it to last longer, and then you shuffle around those keyframes and get the timing that you want, and then you do the work with the in-betweens. Always be almost 100% happy with the timing of your keys and breakdowns before you move on.
Because you don't ever want to do too much work, and then you're like, it doesn't work, I can't use it. And
I think we've all done it.
Yeah, I still do it sometimes, but you know, again, the more you do it, like the better you'll get. So it's nice to just like see what the thing would look like without having to like animate all of it and then just go, oh, I don't like it. Because when you get to your breakdown phase, you'll probably be able to tell which parts you like and which you don't like, and you know, then it's easier to let go when you have less stuff than when you've amassed like a fortune of frames that you're like, I can't. There's too much work in there.
Are the animations a template and work on all types of dupes appearance? Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's set up so that the symbols are swappable, so you can swap their hair, the color of their shirts. We've got like a few different skin tones, eyelashes, that kind of thing. So yeah, we do the animation once. You know, we do that cheer animation once, and we can swap it for every single duplicate. That was by design, obviously. Like we're a small team, and those are choices in the pipeline to make it so that we can actually deliver a game.
And we try to make things efficient, just so it's also like, because it'd be crazy if you had to do this for like how many characters? 32 characters.
Well, in the early days, so we used to have a body type that was more looked like, you know, top heavy barrel chest, and it would have been cool to have that character in as well, but it just literally doubled the, you know, hundreds of animations we've done, which, you know, I would say we'd probably need double the people because so it's things like that.
Mew the Mew asks, what was your favorite animation to make so far in the game? Big question.
Wow.
There's so many.
There's so many.
Yeah.
The dupes are some of my favorite things
I actually
to do.
think this thing on the screen previously was my favorite one.
Yeah.
But
Was
then I think I have another gift that happens to be just right here.
Ragnar has spent a considerable amount of time animating Draco because the Draco is the first character that actually like climbs on walls and climbs on the ceiling. So that's a case where you did the regular animation set, like the locomotions, and then we were like, okay, it's gonna climb on walls. So as opposed to just turning it sideways, you know, you kind of have to reanimate all
the
this.
amount of times I thought we were done.
You done yet?
It was crazy. I just kept coming back to the Draco file like over and over and over. But yeah, I think this one actually, the hatch baby has been my favorite so far. Like just in since I joined the team for some reason, it's just so much fun to do. Like
sometimes like bouncing balls are I call it a bouncing ball.
Yeah, it
it's
is.
essentially about like because you've distilled it into literally just that animation. They can be fun because you're not really thinking about like crazy hair or a cape or you know, more complicated things that can look good but that take a lot of time to animate.
Actually,
and like Chester from Don't Starve is another example of that. Like he's a fun character to animate because of that. Like the little baby eye bird from Don't Starve. It's like there's quite a few of those kinds of characters in our games because A, they're fun to animate, and B, they're simpler. You can turn them around quicker.
Yeah, so this is,
look at that.
This is it fully animated. And
zoom in and enhance.
I think we are actually able to sneak in the trip.
Really, in the game?
I think so. Yeah.
Oh, I hope so.
I know, because we're always trying to push to get like some like personalized stuff for like certain characters in there, right? Like. So, yeah.
There you have it.
Yep.
Keys.
Breakdowns. And in-betweens.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's a subject you literally can talk about forever because it is kind of a wide-ranging.
Noonfish, who is this cutie? This is the hatch baby, and if you're able to catch those hatches in the wild, and have them lay eggs. Yeah, don't kill them for food. You'll hatch these little baby hatches that are really cute.
We're watching.
Yeah.
Don't kill them.
Yeah. Cool.
Wasn't there a book reading animation? Oh, a book reading. Yeah, you did that. Like, didn't you do a book reading animation?
Which one was that?
Like with the dupe. I think it was like a job-related thing where the dupe like.
Oh yeah. I think we switched
I don't know
it
if
out
that's
for.
What they're talking about,
I think we switched that out for one of the new things for the job board when it happened. But so I guess that's it for us here.
Yeah.
We hope you guys enjoyed this.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm still reading the chat.
We hope you guys enjoyed this episode.
Yeah.
If you did, press 1. Let Jen know. So I'm Ragnar.
I'm Alex.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching. If you guys like it, we'll be back. If you have any topics you want discussed that are like specific to this animation stuff, or anything, let us know, let Jan know.
Yeah.
It's fun to do because it's kind of a refresh for us, even though we've been in the game for a little bit.
Yeah, makes me fall in love with animation all over again.
Yeah. So yeah, thank you guys.
Cool.
See you.
Also, we are hosting Aka TV playing Oni right after this, so stick around. Let him know we said hi and
watch all those animations.
Yeah. All right. Thanks,
thank
guys.
you guys. Bye bye. Outro.